thank you for having me into your home.
My pleasure.
I really appreciate it. And let me tell you a little bit about this project that we're doing. You said to me a moment ago, we're on the same team. I think that may very well be true. Confronting people, religious people,
yes.
Right?
Yes.
And you know, I was brought up Catholic. Were you brought up?
I was brought up Jew.
Oh, you're
coming
brought up
from
Jewish.
a religious family.
Right.
Top of that, traditional.
I'm half Jewish, but I never knew until I was a teenager, because I went to church with my father and my sister. My mother never went, and I never knew why. I never asked, because you know, when you're brought up in a religious household, you don't ask questions. So, you know, at a certain point, I gave up Catholicism. I didn't see any future in that. And ever since, you know, I think like a lot of people, I've been looking around for something. I don't know what it is. And one reason I wanted to talk to you was because I remember seeing on television a few years ago the press conference about the clone. And I said, oh, these are some people who are interested in science. Yeah, I don't know how old a man you are, but you look like you're in very good shape.
57.
57?
Mm-hmm.
That's amazing. You don't look 57.
Well, with this, maybe, yes.
No. No, but he has very good skin, doesn't he? I mean, he looks like a much younger man.
No.
You think you attribute that to the spirituality that you've got?
Absolutely.
You
Absolutely.
think so?
To the realism, when you ask the age of many Israeli people, you're surprised because they all look so young. And on top of that, some people that I have met, because I'm Israeli for the last 19 years, since 19 years now. And I have met people that I see the same today as the time I met them.
Right.
So I said, like a museum, you know, nobody moves.
Like the picture of Raelian Gray.
That's right.
So what you say, so 19 years ago, take me back to that point where you knew that this was for you. Why did you know that? How did you know that?
Well, you know, if I can go even further than that, if you don't mind, I was brought up in a Jewish traditional family. And I was going, like we were going to church, I was going to synagogue and celebrations and all that. And we were praying even in Hebrew, and we were brought up in Morocco. So we didn't understand a word of what we were saying, but we were like parrots, praying without knowing what we're talking about.
Like the Catholics with Latin.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
And since I was a child, I always had questions for Jewish people that say there is a single God, and there's so many names for a single God. Besides that, that Elohim, which is the base of the name of what they call God, it's a plural, coming from the word Eloha. And so many verses from the Bible, from the original Bible, from the Tanakh, they don't talk about a single immaterial God. They talk about people that come from the skies, in plural.
People who come from the skies,
Yes.
right.
In plural. So I ask questions to rabbis, I ask questions in the family, I ask questions to teachers in the school, because I was going to a Jewish school, and they had no answers, and they always said, no, you don't need to ask that. No, that's okay, it is like that. No, because this is an interpretation of something that I never got an answer. And when I heard about this message, I read the book, and I said, before reading the book, I was hesitant to read the book. I said, maybe the book of the message that Ariel brought from the ELOHIM,
right.
which they call today intelligent design, message from the designers.
Well, let's go back and just, so people who are not familiar with it, take me back to, I think it's December 13th, 1973. Is that?
That's right.
That's the day that the alien, is it?
Yes.
We don't,
well,
do you use that word? Or?
Ariel was going to his office, and then he...
No, Ariel was originally Claude
Vorillon.
Claude Vorillon.
That's right.
He was a journalist?
He was a journalist
a race car driver?
Right.
Okay. So on this day, December 13th, 1973, what happened?
Well, he was going to his office, and then he felt the urge to go elsewhere and take a walk. And then he went to in the place where they used to do picnic there in summertime, but this was in December. He went to that place that is an old volcano in the center of France, Puy de la Solane. And he was walking there like a robot, like he was guided there. And
In the day?
during the day, in the morning. And he arrived in the center and he asked himself, what I'm here for? I mean, it's cold, okay, and I need to, I have some work to do and all that. So he was going to leave, then he saw a light in the sky. At the beginning he thought it was an helicopter, but it was no noise. It was like one light on the top
No noise.
of a craft, no noise at all.
Maybe it was a hybrid.
Maybe.
I have a Prius, but it's no noise.
And then he saw something like a UFO, a dish,
Right.
coming down. And he started getting a little bit afraid. And on the other side, as a journalist, he said, too bad I don't have a camera with me. Then to make it shorter, a ladder opened. And then he got a little bit more afraid. And he
It
saw,
landed in the ladder.
yeah, well, it didn't land it. It was above from the
Hovered.
ground.
Hovered.
Above the ground, and the ladder opened.
Right, I see.
And then he saw like 2 feet, and at the beginning he thought it was a child, because it was about the size of a 13, 14 years old person.
Only about 4 feet tall.
About that
with
size.
dark hair.
That's right.
Maybe it
With
was
dark
Tom
hair.
Cruise.
Who knows?
Um,
No, he was not Tom.
But do we know the name of this visitor?
Yes. After he talked to him, and he told him that he...
And he spoke French.
Yes, he spoke in French, and Mr. Borion was surprised at that time, because he said, do you speak French? And the extraterrestrial replied, I speak all the languages of the world.
Right.
And then he asked him, do you come here often? He said, I come to this planet many times, and today I come to meet with you. Claude Vorillon, you're married, you're a journalist, you're father of 2 kids, so and so.
He literally said, you come
Yeah.
here often.
And he said, today I come to meet with you, because I have a message to give you. Will you please come to my craft? And Mr. Vorillon, that at that time was Claude Vorillon, entered the craft, sit with him, and he revealed him, he gave him some information about the original Bible. And he asked him to come during 6 days to meet with him at the same time, not to bring any metal with him, not any camera, and not to talk to anyone about him.
Now, why did the extraterrestrial choose Claude, do you think?
Well,
Of all the people on Earth,
yeah.
why was he chosen?
As you know, prophets, the ones who send them, they always have chosen one prophet. Like Moses was one prophet, like Buddha was a prophet, like Muhammad was a prophet, like Ariel is a prophet. To be a prophet is nothing magic or a big word. It's a messenger.
But why this one?
Well, why this
Why
one?
not you?
Then
Could have been you. You
It
got the
could have
bling
been.
bling.
it could have been, but it's not me, it's Ariel.
Okay.
Because these extraterrestrials, they are, when they came to Earth many years ago, and now especially, they had intercourse with women of the Earth. And
Regular
Moses-
intercourse, just the way we have intercourse?
yes, they have exactly the same. And
But they're
Ariel-
only 4 feet tall. It might have been a little disappointing.
yeah, well, I don't know about the size, but anyways, the thing is that these messengers, many of them, are half extraterrestrial and half women of the earth. And Rael is one of them, like Jesus was
Right.
one of them. This is why his mother was so called virgin, and so and so and so and so.
And the extraterrestrials had sex with the Jews, right? More than
Absolutely. At the
more than
beginning-
other people.
That's right. That's right.
And that's perhaps why the Jews are known as the chosen people.
That's
They
right.
chose them.
They chose them because They had many laboratories on Earth, and they made some contacts, and they find out that in some points they were the smartest one, or the nicest one, or whatever.
I'm not going to argue with that.
And then they had intercourse with they were sons of the Elohim, like it's written in the Bible, and
Right.
women of the earth. And they had children with them, and these are the Jewish people are coming from them.
So would you say that this extraterrestrial was a god? Would you say
Well,
God is an
it's
alien?
the one that our ancestors took as gods.
Mm-hmm.
This extraterrestrial that met with Ariel is the one that we call in most of the Bibles Yahweh or Jehovah.
Right.
Yahweh. And he is not a supreme being, he's a president
Right.
of all the Elohim. It's a
didn't-
human being.
He didn't create the earth.
No, the earth was there.
Right. That's
The
silly.
earth was
The
there,
Bible
you know.
says he created the
No,
earth in
no,
6
no.
days.
In 6 days, the
It's
seventh day,
ridiculous.
he took off.
That's ridiculous, isn't it?
And he created man to his image and likeness, a supreme God
Right.
that knows everything, that doesn't need anything. He created everything. And today when you see human beings, you can say, what kind of God is that? So perfect that he created these people.
Yeah, boy.
So,
That's
the Elohim,
true that.
the Elohim
Yeah,
are people
but-
like us. That they were
Right.
making experiments. They come to a certain point that they started making cloning in their planet. And the governments, like the ones we have now, refused that.
Speaking of governments refusing, I'm glad you brought that up, because I know you want to build an embassy here. That's
Yes.
why you're here.
Yes.
But the Israeli government is not being cooperative.
With a whole bunch of religions that they have there
Yeah.
behind, that these people will put the
And some of
Israel,
them
they will
are-
burn it.
And some of these, I was out in Jerusalem, some of them are real kooks.
Oops. Let's just put it this way. Then, I mean, they must have, like Ariel said, they must have holes in their brain like a Gruyere cheese. Because you see, these people are like
Right.
narrow-minded. They don't know anything. They don't want to know anything.
Is
Just
that in one of his sacred texts, the comment about the cheese, or is
yeah.
is that
That's
something he
during
said?
seminar
Oh, okay.
jokes. He
Okay.
jokes all the time.
He jokes all the time.
Oh,
and I
right.
understand that the extraterrestrial also,
Yes.
of great humor.
Yes. A
That's,
good
that's
sense
so
of humor.
comforting to know that.
Oh, yeah.
Because very often we think of people from outer space as scary.
Not at all.
Not at all.
Not at all. Not
That's
the
good.
ones. Not the ones called the Elohim that created us.
Right.
These are people full of love.
Because
That's-
Scientologists also believe that extraterrestrials came to Earth, but they had an evil intent.
Yeah. Many people talk about being abducted and etc.
Right.
But you know,
But it is interesting that most of the descriptions people have of extraterrestrials, they are 4 feet tall. They are shorter.
Yes.
And they have the almond eyes.
that's right.
So, is that because other people have experienced these extraterrestrials? They have some sort of sense memory of maybe when they had the sex with them?
I don't know if they had sex with them or not, but you know, it's like
But there's probing.
it's probing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so let me go back to the embassy, because the extraterrestrials now...
Let's hold on 1 second, please. I just want to fix your collar.
Oh. That's why he's the director.
Great. Great. He does his job for me.
But the extraterrestrials want to return. They're
Yes.
kind of a second coming.
Yes, they want to return
And you want to build an embassy
to welcome them.
to welcome them.
Of course, we cannot welcome them in the street.
No, but why do you need an embassy? You couldn't do
Well,
it.
you know, if you have seen probably on newspapers that every time that there are UFO sightings,
Right.
they're trying to shoot at them.
Sure.
That's one thing that governments do, for
Yeah.
sure. Now the Americans,
Right.
I'm not talking about all Americans, but in the history of the United States,
No.
it was against the Indians, then against the Germans, then north against south, then against the Russians, then after a little bit about the Chinese, and then now the space.
And the blacks.
And the blacks.
And the Vietnamese.
Of course.
And now the
of
Iraqis.
course. And now the Iraqis, and then before it was the Afghanistan.
We're a warlike
So,
people. I mean,
wow.
you know, there's no two ways about it.
So, sorry for the American people that have that president.
Believe me. So, do we know which planet they came from?
They are.
Or is that not?
We don't know the name of the planet. It is the description of the distance of the planet is written in the Shir Shirim, what is called the Song of Songs,
Yes.
in the Zohar, which is from there, the book of Kabbalah. And they say, at what distance they're from us. But all that is coded, and we can search. But they live in another solar system, but in our same galaxy.
I would imagine if they didn't, the travel would be too distant.
I mean, I think according to what Rael
If
told
you're in
us,
the same galaxy, I can understand it, but to be beyond one galaxy, I don't know the math in my head, but I know it's prohibitive.
oh yeah, I mean, they're in the same galaxy, but they're another solar system.
Right, okay.
And
So,
of course, they can travel the time of thinking because they have the technology. I think it's mostly teleportation, like Rael explained.
right. So as soon as, I mean, as fast as they can think
They can
to
think,
be in another
they
place,
can be here.
they can be there.
I wish they were here.
Boy, yeah. Well, soon, perhaps. So, let me go back to the cloning, because,
Yeah.
sorry, it was so
You
interesting.
can go
I
back to
forgot.
the
It's
embassy
real-
also.
And the embassy, I
Yeah.
think I understand. But the cloning, when I saw the aliens on TV a few years ago, they were talking about they had cloned.
Well, not the Raelians. Let's make a difference between the Raelians. Raelians support cloning, but the Raelian movement didn't clone anyone.
Right.
The one that did the cloning is the director of Clonate Company,
Right.
which is one of our bishops.
Okay.
But
He's
she
a
had
real-
her role of bishop, and she's a businesswoman, that she is the director and the president of Clonate.
Right. But they did clone a baby.
Oh yeah, they did. I never see it,
Right.
but
And where is that?
one of them is in Israel,
Okay.
according to what we know, because we have the same information you do.
Right.
It's her private company.
Mhm.
We don't get involved in that. We're here just to spread the Elohim message and to make things, humanity, grow and advance
But
and
you-
understand
but if
instead
you-
of believing.
But you could, if you could, would you not clone Jesus?
I'm not a genetician.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how to clone. I think
But it holds great promise.
it will be great if Jesus would have been cloned, but I am sure if he is cloned and he goes to the Vatican, they will kill him. And they will say, this guy is cuckoo, put him somewhere, call a psychiatric hospital, and put him there because he's out of his mind, he's claiming to be Jesus.
They'd also kill him if he showed up at the Republican National Convention. Let me tell you. But
Yeah.
let me.
So like here, everybody wants a Messiah to arrive.
Right.
Everybody wants a Messiah. The Messiah is already here, but it's not that Messiah. The one that we're expecting is someone that is religious, that is praying, that is doing miracles.
Nonsense.
Nonsense at all.
Right.
These people
It's
still,
almost like a magic
at the
trick.
time of Moses, they still in their mind at the time of Moses.
Yeah.
They still in the desert.
Right. Yeah. It's almost like a magic trick, misdirection, you know?
Yeah.
You make the eye go over there, and really it's
Yeah,
over here.
walk on the water and change the wine, the water and wine.
Well,
and so
let me ask you something I ask everybody I talk to, which is, why do you believe what you believe?
Okay. I told you when I was a child, I asked myself many questions and didn't have any answers. And when I read the book of Rael, I didn't believe at the beginning when I saw the title, because the title was not a message from the designers at that time. It was the book which tells the truth. I said, "Listen, this guy must be very pretentious to say the book which tells the truth. How can he teach a Jew what is the truth? Because we, the chosen people." And then I started reading the book. And when I read the book, it was like a puzzle in my head and answered all my questions. Then what I did to be sure about it, because I didn't know Hebrew at that time, I took the original Bible, Hebrew, French, but I didn't trust the translation of the whole sentence. I took a dictionary, Hebrew, French, and the words and the sentences that were not translated properly, I was looking to translate word to word. And I had at that time a clothing company, and I stayed home for about 3 weeks without going there. Because I was so carried away by this that I needed to find out. And more I was going into it, more I was looking that makes sense. And Rai was talking about things that not even rabbis know about. And it opened so much my brain and carried me so much away that today, when we do lectures in Israel, we have boycotts from rabbis, from religious people that are not rabbis. They send people to make us cancel the lecture.
Because they're afraid?
They're afraid because when we give lectures here in Israel, we bring up citations from the original Bible in Hebrew and say what this means, what this means, what this means. And they have no answers.
What do you say to the doubters who say, where is your evidence?
Well, listen, Bill, can I call you Bill?
Please, it's my name.
Of course. Listen, we are not here to make people, to find believers or to make people believe. We are here to give a message and have people understand. Today it's time to understand because we're in science. We can fly to the skies. We can go to other planets. We can go above Earth. And people can understand that science will replace religion. What our ancestors couldn't understand at that time, lack of science, and because they were primitives, totally primitives, today we have the ability to understand. And the Jewish people in particular, those who live in Israel.
But the science of the extraterrestrials, the physical evidence, I mean, we are only relying on Rael's testimony.
Yes, but we're relying also on over 50 million people that have seen UFOs. So, listen, if you understand the concept of infinity,
I don't.
and there are so many planets, so many galaxies, billions.
Yes.
We cannot be alone in the universe.
Probably not. But
So if we're not alone, that it means that there are billions of extraterrestrials
But
in billions of galaxies and planets.
now, I'm not in any way comparing this realism with some of these other silly things that people believed in. But one thing that is, I would say, in common with some other religions is that, for example, the Mormon religion,
Yeah.
same thing. The prophet is visited by someone when he's alone.
Yeah,
No one around to see it.
That's right.
Just the prophet and the visitor.
that's right.
That seems to be a recurrent theme.
Yeah, like Moses, like Jesus.
Yes.
Yeah,
No one around, just the one guy.
yeah. But you know, in our values, in our Raelian values that I will give you later on, we are the only, if we can call religion, because we are mostly a movement, but we are an atheist religion. The biggest atheist religion in the world. And what Rael told us always, and this is why when people call us cult or call us other names, you know, cult, first of all, we don't live in any place surrounded or close. Everyone works and everybody have his own life and is married or whatever, or, you know, have a boyfriend or a girlfriend, whatever it is. And Rael always tell us, always do things according to your consciences. If it's against your consciences, even if I tell you so, don't do it. And even if the Elohim themselves ask you to do something, don't do it. So it's just making sense.
that's
It's
all
just
the-
our consciences.
Yeah.
And no religion say that. Because I have been talking even to religious people here in Israel. Oh, if my rabbi tell me, I will believe it. I talk to them about the message. We're on the street to spread the message. If my rabbi tell me, I will believe. What kind of brain do you have?
Exactly. I
It's
mean,
like
that's all they
a
need,
robot.
right? Yeah.
That someone need to push on the button to tell, oh yeah, I am sure that if a couple of rabbis, tomorrow they will say, oh yeah, Ariel is the Messiah, Ariel is the Messiah the Jewish people are waiting for, yes, we will build the embassy, and we all recognize the Messiah, Ariel as the Messiah. They will all run like crazy, but they didn't understand a clue. And our aim, our meaning is to make people understand and to say, hey, stop believing. Now we have the technology, we have science, we can fly to the skies, we can travel in the space, so please, wake up. But
Let's look into the future, 100 years, and then 1,000 years. How many Raelians are there now?
worldwide, we're over 65,000.
65,000. Take me 100 years from now, how many will there be?
I think most of the population will understand that we have been created by other people from another planet. Because when we're going to start creating people and putting them on another planet, the mystery of God is over.
Right.
There is no place anymore
So
for
as
God.
soon as 100 years, pretty much everybody.
Even before that.
Even before that.
As Ryan said, in the next century,
Mhm.
the majority of the population will be Iranian worldwide.
Well, the next century is almost the whole century.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the sexual aspect.
Great.
Because, see, underneath that you're still a Frenchman.
Of course.
But I notice, I've learned that they're very open,
Very open.
very sexually open, not
Among adults,
right,
with respect,
right,
and between people consenting.
of course, right. But marriages are open,
Of course.
Hmm.
Very.
and how's that working out?
Great.
I
For
see-
people who both are open,
right,
nobody's hiding from the other,
right,
and we're both open-minded, and we all want that the other person or your partner will enjoy life and have pleasure. What is the meaning of being Israeli? To have pleasure.
You're
This
preaching.
is the main rean why we're alive, what the Elohim created us.
Not to
To
sound
have
religious,
pleasure.
but you're preaching to the converted on this one.
You know.
I mean, man, I didn't know it. Apparently,
There
I'm
are some
Iranian.
people, I'm sure you are.
And what does the symbol mean? That's
Well,
a beautiful,
This
beautiful.
is a symbol of
medallion.
infinity.
Oh, that's infinity.
Yeah,
Okay.
it represents infinity in
I
space.
had an infinity, and the top of the car looked just like that.
Yeah, infinity in space and time, which is the Star of David,
Right.
which calls the infinity small and the infinity large, from small to large and from small to large.
Right.
And this is our galaxy. It represents the infinity in space and time,
Wow.
which is the symbol of the Elohim.
Boy, I know a few rappers would be jealous to see that.
We sell them, no problem.
No,
you can buy it from
you
internet.
sell them?
Sure,
Really? You can get them?
sure.
Oh, right there. Probably if I.
Sure.
Okay. So let me just go back to the sexual aspect, the openness. I saw a picture of Rael with Hugh Hefner.
Yeah, and he was there with his girlfriend, and Bridget Wasselier's daughter, which is the president of Clonay, and another Iranian girl, which is a guide also, a Japanese, Oriental guide,
And how old a man now is Rael?
Rael is 60 years old.
Oh, 60. Oh, so he's still a young man.
Of course.
And where does he live?
He's in Switzerland.
And we
But
live
he
in
travels worldwide to give his
Right.
seminars.
He does not choose to live here where the embassy.
Well, according to the message that he received from the Elohim, until Israel will not allow to give the land with extraterritoriality where to build the embassy, it means by giving the land and authorizing the construction and giving the extraterritoriality, automatically they will recognize the Elohim and Rael as their messenger.
Mhm.
So it's a great impact. And I was saying...
So he doesn't need to be on site.
Well, he's not allowed by the Elohim to come to Israel until they will not grant with a request.
Right.
And when I was watching television
So
and
the
saw
whole
the
thing
mess,
is really being held up by building permits. It seems unfair.
not building permits, but the opposition that we have from religious people, because if I was thinking like, you know, after I saw the mess they did in Jerusalem with at the gay parade, burning everything on their own streets and their own cars.
Right.
They need to be stupid. But anyways, they are. When I saw that, I said, okay, even if the government, the Israeli government, will grant us the land, the permit to build the embassy, they give us the extraterritoriality, these people will burn, if the religious people, if they don't agree with that, they will burn the whole country.
Right.
They will kill everyone
Oh, yeah.
that is for that, for the Elohim, for the building of the embassy, because they're against. Now, take the opposite way. If the religious people will tell the government, yes, Rael is the Messiah, he's the messenger of the Elohim, the message is true, there is nothing the government can do. But unfortunately, these people, they don't understand. They just believe.
Right. They just believe. Right.
They just believe.
They just, yeah. What is the Realian vision of heaven, or the equivalent of what we would think of as a heaven, as the place, the great place that happens after you shuffle off?
After we die, there is two possibilities. You go back to infinity, and that's it. There is no soul that leaves the body after death.
No.
There is nothing like that.
I don't think so either.
We Israelis, according to the Elohim message, we know that the Elohim have two planets. One where the Elohim live, and they have the planet that they created. Most beautiful things with their imagination, their artists and their geneticians, which is the Garden of Eden, what we call the Garden of Eden.
Ah.
And after that, those who deserve it, who qualify according to their computers of the good actions they have made to help humanity progress,
Right.
will be recreated to live among them eternally.
On the second planet.
On the second planet, on the eternal
which is
planet.
The Elohim estates, sort of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The planet of the eternals.
Right.
Only people who deserve it.
And what goes on there? I imagine good stuff. Food.
I have no idea, but
Sex.
it's everything.
It's got to be good.
Everything.
It's gotta
And
be out.
eternally. With a young body, no disease,
No disease.
no dying,
No.
not getting old.
Right.
Oh,
Yeah.
let's go, Bill.
Good stuff.
Let's go.
Get my ticket. Yeah, now the Muslims believe they go to a place called paradise, which is
Yeah.
a garden. They just
Boom, and they go and live there with 72
and 72 virgins.
virgins. Yeah.
What do you think of that? I mean,
I think that's stupid.
That's cool.
As believing in Santa Claus. You know.
Yeah.
You have to kill someone to go to paradise and have virgins and have children if you want. Not children to have sex with.
Right.
You know?
Wrong.
And
I mean.
wrong. Absolutely wrong.
Yeah.
But not only that. When you see these religions and books of their religions, Muslim, Christian, Jewish, that these people are insane. I mean, in the Quran, you are allowed to beat up your wife. You are allowed to kill the infidels. You are allowed to blow up yourself and you will go to another planet. What kind of religion is that? Where is the God of love
Certainly doesn't sound like one of peace.
It means if a God of love created you like Him, to His image,
Right.
and you're doing that abomination,
That's
what
not,
kind of believer
not
are
a
you?
religion of peace. In this religion, you get a peace, and that is that is much better.
We are pacifists. We are against all kind of violence.
Right.
We are for pleasure, for love, harmony, and fraternity.
That's my
And
kind of religion, baby.
And everybody equal. Everybody equal.
All right, let me ask you one last question, because I know this must be a stone in your shoe. About 10 years ago, there was a cult in America called the Heaven's Gate.
Yeah.
And they killed themselves. Do you remember this?
I don't know if they killed themselves or they have been killed.
No, they killed themselves.
Okay.
They all, very neatly, they had been planning this for years. They killed themselves because the Hale-Bopp comet, and this was true, the Hale-Bopp comet was coming close to Earth. You know, comets have their trajectories and they pass close to Earth some of them, Halley's comet passes every, I think, 76 years.
Mm-hmm.
So the Hale-Bopp comet was coming very close to Earth, and they were planning this. When the Hale-Bopp comet is close, they were going to kill themselves, and they did, to rendezvous with the comet. My question is, if you're going to travel spiritually through space, and I assume that's how they were doing it, how else could they, why does the comet have to be close? Have any idea?
Another crazy thing.
Another what?
Another crazy thing.
Another crazy thing.
Crazy idea. I mean, to kill yourself,
To kill
go
yourself.
somewhere. It's like, what kind of mentality do you have? What kind of thinking do you have? What kind of what is your consciousness? This is why Ariel always tells us, if I tell you to do something that is against your thinking, against your belief, against your consciousness, don't do it. Not only if I ask you, even if the Elohim come and tell you to do so, don't do it.
I like that. I like that a lot, because that's not found in any other religion.
Never.
All the other religions are all about you have to obey,
You have to.
don't ask. The worst
You
thing you
have
can do is ask a question. Very nice. Thank you.
My
It was
pleasure.
a great pleasure.